They're falling more often, but it's not just about balance. It started with one fall, then another. At first, we blamed it on the rug, on the shoes, on being tired. But deep down, something felt off. What if those falls weren't just accidents? What if they were quiet warnings, signals that the body or even the mind was struggling? In this video, we'll uncover the truth behind why our elders are falling more often and why balance is only half the story. When balance isn't the real problem. We often think of falls in older adults as simple accidents, caused by slippery floors, loose rugs, or poor footwear. And while those things do matter, the truth is more complex. Behind many of these falls lies a deeper, more hidden issue. It's not always about balance. Sometimes it's about the brain struggling to keep up with the body. You see, the systems that help us stay upright, our muscles, nerves, eyes, ears, and brain, all need to work together in perfect harmony. But as we age, subtle changes in the brain's ability to process signals, coordinate movement, or even judge distance can throw that harmony off. This leads to hesitation when walking, delayed reactions, and yes, more frequent falls. And here's the hard truth. Falls are often the first visible sign of cognitive decline. They may signal early stages of dementia, changes in the brain's executive function, or even the onset of neurological conditions like Parkinson's. These aren't just physical problems, they're mental and emotional too. You might notice that your loved one seems confused after a fall, unsure of how it happened. Or they may begin to avoid certain areas of the house, walk more slowly, or appear suddenly fearful of moving. These aren't just reactions, they're red flags. Ignoring these signs can be dangerous. A fall isn't just a stumble, it can be the beginning of a rapid decline in independence, confidence, and physical health. That's why it's so important not to write it off as just getting old. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how muscle loss plays a hidden role in all of this, and what you can do to protect your loved one before another fall happens. The hidden link between muscle loss and falling. When we think of aging, we often picture gray hair, wrinkles, or maybe moving a little slower. But one of the most dangerous changes that happens quietly and often unnoticed is muscle loss, not just in the legs or arms, but throughout the entire body. There's even a name for it, sarcopenia. It begins as early as your 30s, but by the time someone reaches their 70s or 80s, it can accelerate dramatically, unless something is done to slow it down. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Muscle loss is one of the biggest hidden contributors to falls. It weakens posture, shortens stride, and makes even basic tasks like standing up from a chair or climbing a step feel exhausting. And when leg muscles shrink and joints stiffen, balance suffers, making missteps more likely and recoveries harder. Worse, this loss of strength can go unnoticed until it's too late. You might hear a loved one say things like, "I'm just tired today. My knees are acting up again. I think I just slept funny." But what they're really describing is their body growing weaker. And here's the heartbreaking part. Every fall can further reduce muscle strength. After a bad fall, older adults often move less out of fear, which leads to even more muscle loss. A vicious cycle. So what can you do? Start early, encourage movement. Even light resistance exercises, chair yoga, or walking with support can help maintain and rebuild strength. Talk to a physical therapist or doctor who understands geriatric care. Don't wait for a fall to be the wake-up call. Because the truth is, strong muscles mean more than mobility. They mean independence, confidence, and safety. In the next chapter, we'll explore the emotional aftermath of falling and why fear itself becomes one of the most dangerous side effects. Fear of falling. The invisible injury. Falling isn't just a physical event, it leaves a deep emotional mark too. For many older adults, the fear that comes after a fall can be just as debilitating as the injury itself. Imagine this. You take one misstep, lose your balance, and suddenly your confidence cracks. The next time you stand up, that fear is lurking in your mind. What if I fall again? This fear can change behavior in subtle but powerful ways. Instead of staying active, seniors may Avoid walking outside, skip social visits. Hesitate to climb stairs or even get out of bed. What seems like caution can quickly turn into isolation, loneliness, and depression. But fear of falling isn't just about emotions. It affects the body too. When people avoid movement, their muscles weaken further, making future falls even more likely. It becomes a vicious cycle. So how do we break this cycle? Acknowledgement is the first step. If you or a loved one is feeling afraid, it's okay to admit it. Fear is natural, but it doesn't have to control life. Next, build confidence through gradual exposure. Start with safe, supported movements, like walking indoors with handrails or joining gentle exercise classes designed for seniors. Physical therapy can play a huge role here. Therapists help retrain balance and teach techniques to recover from slips before they turn into falls. Lastly, emotional support matters. Encourage open conversations, be patient, and celebrate small victories together. Sometimes the greatest strength is in knowing someone is by your side, because overcoming the fear of falling isn't just about preventing injuries. It's about reclaiming freedom and joy. The role of vision and hearing in preventing falls. When we think about falls, we often focus on muscles and balance. But there's something else quietly at work that many overlook. Our senses, especially vision and hearing. As we age, changes in eyesight and hearing aren't just inconveniences. They can directly increase the risk of falling. Imagine walking through your home or outside on an uneven path with blurry vision or muffled sounds. You might miss a step, misjudge distances, or fail to hear important cues like approaching footsteps or traffic. Vision problems like cataracts, glaucoma, or even simple fading eyesight can make it harder to see obstacles, uneven floors, or stairs. Poor lighting can make things worse. A familiar room can suddenly feel like a tricky obstacle course. Hearing loss is just as important. Our ears don't just help us hear sounds. They contribute to our balance through the inner ear system. When hearing declines, so does our spatial awareness. This means seniors may not notice subtle changes in their environment that signal danger, such as the sound of a rug slipping or an uneven surface. Ignoring these sensory changes is a common mistake, but there are ways to address them. Regular checkups with an eye specialist can catch vision problems early. Updating eyeglasses or getting treatment for cataracts can dramatically improve clarity. Hearing tests and using hearing aids when recommended can restore crucial spatial cues. Simple changes at home, like improving lighting, removing tripping hazards, and using contrasting colors on stairs, can help compensate for sensory declines. By understanding how vision and hearing affect balance, we can better protect ourselves and our loved ones. Because preventing falls isn't just about physical strength. It's about staying aware and connected to the world around us. Home safety, small changes, big impact. Most people think of home as the safest place on earth, but for an aging loved one, it can quietly become the most dangerous. In fact, more than half of all serious falls happen right inside the home. Not because someone was careless, but because small, overlooked hazards added up over time. A loose rug, dim lighting in the hallway, a cluttered path from the bedroom to the bathroom. These may seem harmless at first glance, but they can be deadly for someone with slower reflexes, poor balance, or weakened eyesight. Here's the truth. You don't need to renovate the entire house to make it safer. A few thoughtful changes can drastically reduce the risk of falls and injuries and bring peace of mind to everyone involved. Let's talk about a few of the most effective changes you can make right now. Clear the clutter. Make sure walkways are wide, open, and free of wires, boxes, or furniture that sticks out. Even something as small as a pet toy can cause a serious fall. Add grab bars and railings. In bathrooms, near the toilet, and along staircases, these simple supports can make the difference between a safe step and a fall. Improve the lighting. Install bright, warm lighting in key areas, especially hallways, staircases, and entryways. Add night lights for middle-of-the-night trips to the bathroom. Use non-slip mats in the kitchen, bathroom, and anywhere that might get wet. Choose mats with strong grip bottoms to prevent slipping. Rearrange for accessibility. Move frequently used items to easy-to-reach places. No more bending, stretching, or standing on chairs to reach a shelf. Install lever-style door handles. These are easier for aging hands to use than knobs and can make moving around the home more comfortable and safe. These changes might seem small, but they're powerful because they're proactive. They say, I care about your safety. I'm paying attention. I want you to feel secure. It's not about making your loved one feel old. It's about making them feel loved by giving them the confidence to move through their day without fear. Because when we protect their space, we protect their independence. How to respond after a fall without fear, shame, or panic. A fall can be terrifying, not just for the person who falls, but for those who witness it too. In that moment, panic takes over. Are they hurt? Should I move them? What do I do? But here's something important to understand. How we respond after a fall matters just as much as preventing one. Why? Because the way we react shapes how our loved one feels, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. Let's start with what not to do. Don't immediately rush to pick them up. Unless you're certain they're uninjured, lifting someone can cause more harm. Take a breath. Observe. Ask them how they feel. Do a quick mental check. Are they alert and conscious? Can they move their arms and legs? Is there any bleeding or visible injury? If there's even a hint of pain in the head, neck, back, or hips, don't move them. Call for medical help immediately. If they seem unhurt but shaken, guide them gently into a sitting position and give them a moment to breathe. Reassure them. Speak softly. This is not just a physical experience, it's emotional. Many older adults feel deep shame after a fall, even if it wasn't their fault. Here's what you should do. Stay calm. Your calmness becomes their anchor. Check their surroundings. What caused the fall? A slipper? A slippery floor? Make a mental note so it doesn't happen again. Talk with love. Avoid phrases like, I told you so, or you need to be more careful. Instead say, I'm here for you, or let's figure this out together. And after the fall, don't brush it off. Even if they seem fine, this is a wake-up call. It's time for a doctor's visit to rule out internal injuries or balance issues, a medication review. Some prescriptions cause dizziness or low blood pressure, a physical therapist consultation to strengthen muscles and regain confidence. Most importantly, ask how they're really feeling, not just physically but emotionally. Do they feel scared, embarrassed, fragile? Let them talk. Listen fully. Because when someone falls, they're not just looking for help getting up. They're looking for understanding, for care, for reassurance that they're still seen as strong and capable, even if they need a little more support. And that's the true gift of presence. Responding not with fear, but with love. Not with frustration, but with compassion. Because in the end, how we respond in the quiet moments, when no one else is watching, says the most about who we are and how deeply we care. What falls really teach us, a fall might seem like just a physical stumble, but so often it reveals something deeper. It's a moment that tells us quietly, slow down, be more present, listen, love harder, because behind every fall is a story of aging, of courage, of someone who's trying their best every day in a body that's slowly changing. So don't just help them up, stay with them. Ask the gentle questions, pay attention to the signs, and remember, while the goal isn't to stop time, it's to fill the time we have with presence, dignity, and love. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you see things differently, consider sharing it with someone who's walking this same path. And for more honest, compassionate conversations about aging,